So I'm one of the 12 people that thought it would be a good idea to buy a car from a company who's going out of business. Now, if you aren't familiar, our car company named Fisker went bankrupt 10 years ago after making the Fisker Karma, and then they went bankrupt again this year in 2024 after making the Fisker Ocean. The CEO, Henry Fisker, man, talk about a rough losing streak, 2 bankrupt companies in a decade. I'm not mad that he tried and failed, because we all fail sometimes. But what he needs to do is take a page from Elon Musk's book about being humble. Elon, animal lover, offered to buy a woman in need a horse. How generous is that? And even offered to take care of someone's cats. Again, very awesome. The problem I have with Fisker is not only did he name the company after himself, he also permanently put this video in the car of his face so that you can watch it while you're at the side of the road waiting for a tow truck, which is exactly what happened to me.
Hi, I'm Henrik Fisker. Get ready for the drive of your life. I'll see you on the road.
Today, we're going to show you the symptoms and then trial and tribulations of fixing a car that has no support from the manufacturer. Now, in case you aren't familiar, the car has about 300 miles on it. Yes, 300 miles. It probably has only been charged once in its life, and it hasn't even gone through a full battery yet. And someone traded into a dealership because they were already sick of it, which is insane after only 300 miles. So when they traded it into the dealer, that's when things went south. The car sat for so long that it died. The high voltage battery was at 0, and you know when the high voltage battery dies, it also kills the low voltage battery, which controls simple things like unlocking the car and getting into the car. So unfortunately, it sat there dead, and you can't really sell a dead car now, can you? It's very unappealing. So they called Fisker and they sent a technician out to troubleshoot the car, and as the tech was working on it, he got fired. He got a phone call that says, "Stop working, you're fired." Well, now what? Well, it was sent to another shop in that area that works on EVs, and how would they figure it out? There's literally no manuals for this car, so they sent it back, and the car sat and sat. Now, during this time, the price of the cars were in free fall. They went from $60,000 to $40,000 down to $30,000, and if the dealership didn't know what to do, they just wanted to get rid of it. So my friend Tony called my other friend Terry, and before you know it, I had a Fisker in my driveway for $10,000, which I believe is a great price for this car. You literally cannot get another car like this for $10,000. And if you own a Fisker and you paid $60,000 to $70,000 for it, my heart goes out for you, because I got the same exact car a year later for 80% off. So there's 3 problems with it, and we're going to address 2 in this video. The main problem is that the car won't turn on or charge, and the other problem is that my little first class tray table thingy thing is broken. Anyways, we spent a good few hours getting the car to turn on, and if you saw the first episode, we faced some, challenges. Between all the tomfoolery, it took us hours to even move the thing, and I learned the hard way that it doesn't just have a parking brake for the rear wheels, but it has a parking pawl that locks all 4 wheels, so I couldn't even drag it unless all 4 wheels were off the ground. So let's troubleshoot this charging issue. We tried about 6 million times to disengage the e-brake and finally got the battery charged enough to not shut down and pull the e-brake when it gets low. So I had to charge the battery, turn the car on, then unplug the battery so the e-brake stays off. When this car detects itself rolling in neutral for too long, it's going to try to pull the e-brake again unless someone is in the seat. So because I'm all alone and I can't sit in the seat, I'm going to need a little help pulling it into the shop. So enter half of a performance Model 3, soon to be quarter of a Model 3. The goal is to somehow now get this Fisker Ocean into the shop by myself with no other help. Remember how much of a nightmare this was before? The goal is to attempt to put this thing into neutral and actually pull it in with the Model 3. So I'm gonna plug this connector in here because I'm getting a lot of phantom drain. Can't imagine why I'm getting phantom drain. Let's go ahead and plug this in here too. There you go. That should turn right on. Contactor click. That's great. Now we're going to go ahead and get the Fisker all fired up. Hey, before we go any further, I just want to address something about John in the last video. If you remember, John was kind of going through it. He was having a hard time focusing. He was just really out of it. And there's a reason why. You have to understand something. John lives in a storage unit down the street. Okay. Why does John live in a storage unit besides having a full-time job? Well, John was part of a huge data breach. They opened up credit cards in his name, rented an apartment, and someone even bought a Hellcat in his name, and it really messed him up. And let's be real here. Every couple weeks, we all get an email or a letter that says your information may have been leaked in a data breach. It literally happens all the time. And in his case, it said some of your information was leaked, like his social security number, name, and birthday. And sometimes a company will just straight up sell your information to a data broker. Thankfully, there are companies like Incogni that fights for you to have your personal information removed from data brokers. They're required to remove your personal information from their databases if you ask them to. If you do it yourself, it can take forever, and there's so many of them, and Incogni does this all for you. They reach out to the data brokers, request removal, then fight any objections, and it's all automated. Just open an account, type in the info you want removed, and give them the permission to work on your behalf. After that, you can log in and check out how Incogni is working for you and see the list of brokers that had your information and the status of the removal. Take your personal data back with Incogni. Use code REBUILDS at the link below and get 60% off an annual plan. Incogni.com/rebuilds. Now we have it in the shop. Here's a little trick I learned online. If you type in "my Fisker won't charge," this really good YouTube video pops up and he tells you how to get your dead Fisker charging again. And the basis of the whole video is that now the Fisker has a massive draw from the 12-volt battery, so much that the little battery can't keep up if the high voltage battery is dead, which is typical for most EVs. So the thing that you can't use is this dinky little trickle charger. You have to use this one from 1970, which has an infinite amount of amps to throw at a lead acid battery. So I unplugged the battery, plugged it into the trickle charger, and when it was full, I hooked the car back up, then used the heavy duty charger during troubleshooting. Unfortunately, it wasn't a consistent enough voltage. Who knew that the charger from 1970 wouldn't really help on a car made 100 years later? So I had to bust out All Reliable, the battery maintainer. This was not cheap by any means, but it's probably the tool I use most. And when I'm working on cars, I use it on the McLaren, the Porsche, and now the Fisker. When you're doing something that requires the doors to be open in a car, or tuning, or flashing, make sure you hook something like this up. It will provide a clean 12, 14 to 15 volt variable signal to whatever you're working on. Very little voltage drop, if any. So if you're interested in one and you work on cars, there's a link in the link below in Amazon. Unfortunately, this didn't do anything either. The charger was in the port and it acted like nothing was even there. Okay, that's locked. Okay, fine. Huh. Is it green again?
No, blue.
Okay, so that's just chilling and hanging out there. Oh God, let me see now. Now it's blue.
Blue?
It's blue. 13.1. That went up again, which is good. Okay, so I'm gonna look at this real quick. It still says red here though. Huh, it says preparing to charge. No, it says charger not locked. Please try again. Okay, let's do some troubleshooting on the charging issue. Now, there's something called the VCU in most electric cars. On the Fisker, the vehicle control unit is located right here. A buddy of mine, Sean, also a former Fisker tech, told me where it was and suggested I try resetting it by pulling the cables out of the VCU to force a reset. Okay. Keeps clicking. Oh, it tried to do something. Now, the car certainly made a lot of noise, but that didn't fix the problem. But it will fix a problem for me later on. By the way, if you own one of these cars, please make friends with a Sean, a Fisker former tech, because they can give you wiring diagrams, which are crucial to keeping these cars alive if you love to tinker. Now, in electric cars, there's usually a VCU, vehicle control unit, and a PDU, power distribution unit. When I moved the charge cable, it turns green, but when it's down, it's red or blue, and it doesn't make any sense at all. So it's definitely something within the charge port itself. But what the hell is even there? Just a bunch of connectors. There doesn't seem to be anything or any kind of logic in here besides what goes back to the PDU. That's where I was wrong. Remember the messages I got about the charge port not being locked? Well, there's a charge port lock solenoid sensor which sends a signal to the power distribution unit. If it's not working, you aren't charging. It drops a pin on the charge port and it won't take a charge if that pin isn't dropped to signify locking the actual charge cable into the car. Where's that pin? Well, it's right here. Now, I could bypass it with a resistor, but I don't know enough about these cars yet as to whether or not I could do that safely. I don't know if there's something else going on with the car just yet. So I need charge cables for the car. But for a company that's bankrupt and won't sell parts, I'm not worried about it because I have a PhD in finding parts for cars whose companies won't sell them to you. Ask me how I know. Anyways, there's a company on eBay called J&J Auto Wrecking that sells Fisker parts. I went ahead and I bought a charge port from them as well as a little first-class table thingy because someone apparently sat on mine and broke it. Fun fact, Fisker parts are worth a small fortune because they don't sell the parts anywhere. You want a windshield for a Fisker Ocean? I hope you're sitting down, and this is why I'm telling you guys 10 grand for a Fisker is a steal. I can sell the windshield for at least a few $1,000s because they don't make any parts for this car. Anyway, J&J sent me over the charge cables, and there it is, the part I needed, the charge port and charge cable lock sensor. Let's go ahead and replace it. Not the best design in the world, because that pops out. So you are currently looking at the old part, which seems to have some strange residue on it. Almost like there's some corrosion on the inside, which seems odd for a brand new part. But here's the new one, which looks much cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and swap these over and see what happens. As you can see, night has fallen. I think I'm ready to start the very first charging session. I want to make sure that no one was around before I plug this thing in, so when we see a giant fireball, it doesn't affect too many people. And now is the moment of truth. Will this thing actually charge now? Let us see. Nope. So it's in. Charging started. Give me something. It appears as if it's trying to charge, but I don't see a reading yet on really anything. Now, this is where the handy trick of resetting the VCU comes into play. After I reset the VCU, this is what happened. 0.8 kilowatts. Let me power up this battery tender. see what it says. 1.4 kilowatts, 1.5. I guess we'll see what happens. As you may have guessed, I let the car sit for several hours and it charged to 90 miles of range, and I couldn't wait to see if it drove. And as you can see, it's running and driving. I got a working Fisker Ocean for 10 grand. Unfortunately, this excitement didn't last long when I tried to plug it into a fast charger and, well, nothing happened. The same symptoms as last time. Then I tried to plug it in at home and I never got the car to charge again. Back to the drawing board. Back to the shop we go. So here we are yet again. I have a fun fact for you. If you were to pull this safety loop again after everything's installed, it actually bricks your car. And by brick, I mean your car will not be able to charge. The reason why is because it's such a poor design, it actually resets everything that you've done in the past couple hours or so. So pretty much if you're stranded somewhere and you have a charger plugged into your car, and you want to release said charger in some kind of emergency, once you pull that loop, you have to have a Fisker technician come out and reset the system. So you have to take this off yet again.
Point. How many times are you gonna get towed back to the shop?
Seriously.
Before you learn?
I know, right? Always have a toolkit with you if you have a Fisker, because, there you go, at least that comes out easily. So let's do this again.
At least you're getting good at it.
I know, I'll do this 5 more times, 6 more times already.
Are you gonna take all those screws back out?
Oh yeah, the whole thing has come out again.
I'm more shocked that you put all of them back in there.
I shouldn't have. This is why I don't do those things. This is why I put half the screws back, so that way I have to do this again. It saves me some time. Okay, so this is here. What, the, Charging started. So, note to self: never, ever, 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 ever pull that. Probably one of the worst designs I've seen for an automobile in quite some time. The second you pull this emergency string, this entire mechanism has to get reset because it no longer knows the position of the locking pin. When the locking pin doesn't go down anymore, the car will not charge. This is a very, very, very poor design, and this is well documented. So I pretty much pulled this just to see if it would get released. It actually did release the charge cable, but unfortunately it reset this in the process. So if you're on the road somewhere, you literally have to take your charge door off, you have to remove the charge port, you have to get behind, and you have to reset this mechanism. So really, really, really poor design. And the most depressing thing, Joey, was literally watching the car accelerate 5 miles an hour in reverse for no reason.
What?
Like, I was just on the hill, and the car started backing up. There's no hill hold, so it's backing up 5 miles an hour in reverse.
Yeah, see that?
That's a problem.
That's a huge problem. I was rear-ended somebody today.
Seriously, I was at a stoplight. Almost killed me.
I know. There's a family of 4 walking across the street.
There you go.
And
Don't.
I rolled up like I normally would. I let my foot off the gas.
Right.
And it's just like, no. Oh, I don't want to be an EV anymore. I'm not going to regen.
Right.
It's just like, bye, family.
Right,
Like,
seriously.
And then it's like, you're not going to stop for these people?
No, it didn't see it. It's like,
okay.
oh, there's people. Time to complete my mission of everyone.
How's that going?
It's going pretty good. I don't know why someone would remove the tray table. Like, someone literally just stole it out of the car. Or maybe they didn't want it. Ready? You did it.
Nice work.
There you go.
Did you ever thinking about opening like an EV repair shop?
You know, I was thinking about it, but I don't think it'd be successful. I don't think the market's ready for it yet. Bye-bye. Where'd it go? Oh, go back here.
Can't hurt anybody anymore.
Seriously? I hated that. I hated that thing. All right.
Can you imagine if they just like spent the time and put a hood prop in? None of that funny business.
All right, ready? So let's practice. 1. I'd laugh if somehow it locked still.
I think you're good. It's like all bent still.
I know.
It's fine.
That's all right.
I like how user-friendly this is.
Seriously.
I need to service my car. Hang on, let me unbolt my hood.
Yeah, let me just undo this real quick. If you think, thank you.
This is bothering me more than that.
I hate that
stupid logo.
I hate that so much. No, that's gonna go.
Yeah, thank you.
Then I see it covered.
Everything's nicely PPF'd and it's just stupid.
That's either gonna get. What do you think? Blacked out? Because here's the thing. That's raised. Actually, the whole thing's raised, except for the letters. I'm thinking of just blacking out. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know.
It's a shame it doesn't come off.
Yeah.
Go.
Check out the back, right?
I'm surprised there's no face on it.
Yeah. Got your money. Look at this. Ocean is like embossed in the back. It's like part of the trunk.
That's great.
But dude, that thing is gonna go.
It's missing part of the letter.
Is it? I think it's supposed to be like that. Fisker things.
Fisker on.
I don't know. Fisker.
And then it's on the top.
Fisker O.
Yeah, what is this?
What's what?
What is this?
It's a Fisker. Taking the Fisker today.
I don't want to take this thing. No. I'm gonna get bullied.
No, you're not gonna get bullied. Look how nice this car is on the inside. Go ahead, get in.
No one knows what a Fisker is.
No, everyone knows what a Fisker is.
What is that?
That's a screen. Look, see? Look how nice it is. Don't sit on those keys.
I'm going in my Fisker today.
No, don't make fun of it. This is a good car. See? Look at that, huh? Look at that. Look, this is nice. This is nice.
The ceiling's like a
It's a solar panel.
solar panel? Is it like special? So now we're
Yeah, it is.
eco-friendly? This car is special.
Well, it is special. See, look at that. See? See? That, admit it, that's kind of cool. Right?
It is.
See, there you go.
I don't want anyone to see me driving in this.
It's not... Who's going to bully you in this? Like, well, that's a nice car
All the bullies in the school.
they got dropped off in.
No one knows
What?
what Fisker is.
What are they going to say? Ew, what was that car you got dropped off in?
Yeah.
I got the cars on sale because no one else wanted it. 'Cause no, it's not from Temu. I'm going to drop you off right in front.
No.
So all the kids see you.
No.
But yo, check out this new whip. Check it out. Check it out. Check it out.
No.
Oh, those kids are so cool in the Fisker. Okay, guys, just got finished a charging session, and I have 249 miles of range at 70% charge. This is what the Fisker has. I'm actually curious to see what it has at about 90 and 100%. But I just got back from the PDR guy, and the PDR guy is paintless dent removal, in case you didn't know. And if you look at this, he did a phenomenal job. You can't even tell. He definitely did a really good job fixing the issues that I had with the hood, because remember, the hinge point was about right here. People kept forgetting to unlock the hinge, and once you close it, it created these 2 or 3 divots in the hood. You can't even see them anymore. Obviously, the hood needs a little bit of adjustment. There's a little bit of a gap on this side as compared to this one. So I just need to unbolt it and shift things over a little bit. But they did a phenomenal job. Out of curiosity, I do want to see how much range the Rivian has at 70%. And it has about 219. So there's 219 miles of range at 70% in the Rivian. However, I did get a phone call from my kids' school. They're saying that they're being severely bullied at the moment, and I have to go pick them up. So I'm going to pick a different car to pick them up in, obviously. But there's a lot more that I want to tell you guys about in terms of the Fisker, things I've noticed, and we still have to talk about the elephant in the room. What to do about recalls, and number 2, how do I update to the latest software version? How do you get to the next software version if the company's update servers are no longer online? And we're going to talk about that in the next episode. I will talk to you guys soon.